my favourite one was the Black Ranger, yeah? I watched Cool Runnings. Like, I've grown up with it, there ain't no, I know you're laughing, but my favourite people...
Cool Runnings?
You're saying...
I watched Born Supremacy.
When we're talking about equality, we're talking about equality,
not black power.
It is a demonstrable fact that in the practice of law and policing in this country, up until very recently, there was no equality before the law.
Yeah, but come on, mate.
Okay, so you ask the question, why are we going on about equality? Because certain people in the society, I'm from an Irish background, right? Certain people in the society were just seen as lesser human beings.
Are you from Ireland? How are the travellers in Ireland? You know the travellers in Ireland?
What's your
travellers. Do they commit the most of the shit?
Sorry?
The travellers in Ireland. They're discriminated against badly.
Not anymore.
Yes, they are, brother.
Well, you need to distinguish between discrimination in law and individual actions. The discrimination in law has been removed because in the Irish, the island of Ireland, north and south, we now have something called human rights legislation. Human rights legislation.
Let's get the conversation back on track. My main point is here,
So I think I'm trying to understand. Can I say what I think your point is?
Go on.
Okay, is your point, are you saying that you believe because I made the claim that there are people who have acted racistly towards black people from the Asian community, that I'm saying that white people are not doing that?
No, what I'm saying is you're pointing out one racism.
I don't know half these people.
You're pointing out one racism, and then you're saying I'm far right and promoting far right as if they're good. But the same racism that you see in elsewhere, actually a worse racism that you see in the Asian community. If I'm talking about political history, it's seen amongst the far right.
Look at the caste system.
And the reason why I would say that is because when Tommy Robinson came down and read the Martin Sellner's KKK speech, he described the he described the people who came to our lands as explorers. So he didn't describe them as enslavers. He didn't describe them as pillagers. He didn't describe them as colonizers or parasites.
Just like the
he described them as explorers. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, when we're looking at the far right side and the far right agenda and the way Tommy Robinson and these people have represented, we can see, that if anything, they make excuses for the injustice of the system. They cover it up, they hide it, they do not accept the wrong. If anything, they are proud of slavery. We had someone from the far right come down and they told us on camera on Mr. Rax TV that we should be happy about colonialism, because they came and civilized us. So these are the views that reside within the far right.
Okay, so let me. I think I've understood you. I'm going to try my best to first repeat what I think.
When you talk about the caste system in
I think he wants to talk about this thing and not something else. I mean,
I'm fully against the caste system in Asia as well.
It's going to deviate. Okay, so let's start with some fundamental things, right? So I've heard what you said. I think I understand what you said, right? So first thing you're going to have to do is, can you tell me what you think is far right?
Let's go up and down.
Oh, for goodness sake.
You
remember the far right, you didn't know the far right.
So when you say, I'm from the far right, so let me tell you what that means to me.
One day you can get like a
I believe the far right is the best hope for black power. I believe only black power is going to solve the black problems of the black community, and black prosperity depends on black power, and that is a far right Christian concept. I'm a far right Christian promoting black power.
What's it going to do with Christianity?
But hang on a minute, and then he wants to get involved. So do you understand what I mean when I say far right? I had a chat with you guys earlier and Jedi and people where I said my position is the oppression narrative, the narrative. So you mentioned Jeremy Corbyn versus Thatcher. If you read Malcolm X, right? Malcolm X says in 1960 in his interview on Berkeley TV, he said, I don't trust the white people because either they are the Theresa Mays that are wolves or the Jeremy Corbyns that are foxes. Both of them hate white people and we can't trust them both. I'm quoting Malcolm X at you.
Yeah,
right?
Sorry, Malcolm X changed his opinion at the end of his life. That's why he was assassinated by the nation.
Let me keep it real, because I don't like when there's a mis-equation.
He went on a pilgrimage, he went on a Hajj.
Malcolm X not only went on a Hajj, but he also done a travel around Africa. He spent 6 months of the last year of his life in Africa, where he took the name Omawali Malcolm X, And when he came back, he came back with two philosophies. Yeah, he left the Nation of Islam and he created an organisation that no matter what your race or ethnicity was, you could join that organisation, which was a spiritual organisation. Then he created another organisation, which sometimes isn't talked about, yeah, which dealt with the black community and the political issues. So he had two prongs. He had a spiritual thing that dealt with everyone and brought everyone together, but then he also had a political thing to deal with the political issues within his own community. And this is when he was killed.
Okay. So my point of view is that I take the position as someone. Tommy Robinson's not far right. I'm far right. He's a left-wing pussy compared to me. I believe the far right position for black power is black empowerment through power requires the far right values of individual expression of will and power, individual freedom, not the left-wing narrative of oppression and slavery. I take that position. I don't know who these other people you're talking about. That's my position. That's what I was talking about, Jed, and other people about. Have you got a problem with that position?
No, what I'm saying is you can't show me personally where the far right has represented this for black people. You can't show me. This is your own. This is your own. This is your own.
Friends of yours.
One minute, bro. This is your own individual mentality that you may have politically concocted in order to bring it to the speaker's corner environment and maybe pacify black people into your agenda. But what I'm saying is, yeah.
No, I don't want to pacify.
No, what I'm saying is when the far right comes down, this is not what they're saying.
So how many members are there?
Can you show me a video on YouTube of these far right speakers talking about black power? And they want to see good for the black community. Can you show me one video?
He's talking about the concepts.
He's talking about
the concepts of
these concepts in this country, which runs on majority.
So how many members are your little
group? It doesn't work for us in that way.
It doesn't mean that you have to join the far right EDO, blah blah blah.
Are you a member of any group?
EDL on far right.
The concepts of all political ideologies and religious ideologies are good. Yeah, it's the human beings who take these political and religious ideologies and they make them bad. But the concepts and the principles of all of them, the core concepts are all good. There's nothing wrong with any of them.
You came and found me, right? You came here and found me.
I left my bed to find you, blood.
Oh, God.
I jumped on the train.
I appreciate that. So your claim is that somehow that I can't be far right and for far right black power. Is that your claim? And I could prove your claim wrong.
All I'm saying, that the far right in our history in this country, you are one individual, and maybe if you
only speak for myself.
Maybe if you come down in your droves, we'll be able to take you more seriously.
I don't speak for myself.
No, but I'm saying that's what I'm saying. So you speak for yourself. So then when you link up with all your far right bridges, imagine if you are the only one who had this mentality, and all the rest of the people in the far right have a different mentality that we've seen, the one we've seen.
So let me ask you, do you have
you're an Asian far right, so you're gonna have a little bit more liberalism towards coloured people. No, I'm saying towards coloured people. No, listen.
Indians are the most racist people in the world.
Fam.
Hands down.
Really? What's the test?
More racist than whites. Every Pew Research data.
Really?
So more racist than any white person in the world.
I don't know any far right group that shouts about black power.
Really?
Yes.
You need to get out more.
Far right groups, the history of far right groups is about the killing and the racism against
that's a left-wing narrative that I reject.
No, it isn't, sir.
Ridiculous. It's a ridiculous
go and check the
KKK.
That's why
go and check the KKK. The whole history of it is anti-black. It's anti-equality.
This is why they call the enslavers explorers, because they are anti. This is why they wear hats saying make history great again.
Euphemism.
This is why they do these things.
Racist euphemism.
Because end of the day, when the history was at the greatest, we was enslaved at the end of the day. You understand? So when man I say make history great again, which part of history the man am I talk about? This is what I'm trying to wonder. You understand, fam? Great again, it means a return to a greatness. And when we're looking at it at the pinnacle, we was enslaved. And they're not making it, they're not articulating that they're against that or that's not what they mean. They're just out here pushing their narrative. So I'm saying that
where does the word slave come from?
You can't point out. One minute.
It comes from ancient Greece.
It comes from a word called Slav.
Well, you've asked the question, what is this?
1 minute, bro. It comes from a word called Slav, which was originally used on the Eastern Europeans before the Europeans.
Whites.
European whites. Before
the word slave is about white people.
Well, no, it's not.
Originally,
this is a far right illusion. I'm seeing you now. I'm seeing you now. 1 minute. Slavs was the first people that was European. But then, when they realised that a lot of the Europeans, the British, they didn't want to enslave the Eastern Europeans because they felt like there was too much relation. And there was some.
They couldn't. They would involve invading the country just to steal people. It was much easier to go to Africa where people
But what I'm
didn't
saying is they
have,
created a narrative,
modern arms.
and that narrative was that black people are 3/5 of a human being. Yeah, this was the narrative that was created to create a
And that's
whole.
wrong, isn't that wrong?
this-
Is that wrong?
What's wrong?
That people of colour are less than whites.
It's not just wrong, it's absurd.
Right, good.
So when they said we was 3/5 of a human being, they used that as now a narrative to enslave a whole race of people. Yeah, which was chattel slavery, which was the first time this chattel slavery has ever been
So
executed.
I understand the history of slavery. So my question is, what is your point?
So my point is, you're here telling me that Asians are the most racist, but yet for us, racism is prejudice plus power. And for
No,
us,
that's a left-wing
No,
narrative.
listen,
That's
listen.
rubbish.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's left-wing.
No, it's not.
I disagree with that completely.
It's not left wing.
rubbish.
It's not. Well, let me explain it. Let me explain it. It's not left wing because it wasn't created by
Ideas are neither left wing or
it
right
wasn't
wing.
created by the left wing.
Valid or
Who was it created by?
invalid.
1 minute. Can
Support
the
what
enslaver? Can the enslaver define what slavery is? Can the rapist define what rape is? No. So this concept of racism that you just heard did not come from the left wing. It came out of black people.
Did you hear that science?
And it came out of black
Racism
people.
is what?
Yeah, tell Danny Tomo that as well. And
Racism
Tommy
is what?
Robinson.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
But 1 minute.
Which isn't his real name.
Slow down.
Slow
Sorry.
down.
Sorry. No.
Robinson is his
One
real name.
sorry,
It's
cuz.
bogus.
Sorry, cuz.
Deeply bogus.
Sorry, cuz. Let me just get this out, yeah. So what I'm saying is the people in America, yeah, when they was told that racism is simply prejudice, the people in America said, 1 minute, when the white people came to the shores of Africa, was they just prejudice to us? Is that what their racism was? It wasn't just prejudice. It was systems they created. So what we said is they tried to redefine racism in a way to hide their own crimes. They threw the stone and they hid their hands. So what black people did is they came up with a definition of racism that applied to our actual experience. And our experience wasn't that white people was calling us nigger. It wasn't that white people was racist. It's that they created institutions and industries, to oppress us based upon our race. And this is what we say racism is. And so that goes back to you saying that Asians are the most racist.
They are.
Unfortunately,
They just are.
I 100% condemn all of the Arabic slave trade, even though there was more white slaves in the original thing of theirs than black slaves. You understand? I condemn all of it. Any slave master, whether he's Chinese, whether he's white, whether he's black, it doesn't matter. I condemn it all. But what I'm saying is, you cannot convince me that the Asians are more racist than white people.
I don't think it's
and the reason why you can't convince me of that is because my history tells me a different story. The people who beat me and took away my listen. The people who beat me and took away my name.
I understand that, but he's talking about today.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is what you do, and I always show you by it, is you disconnect the history, the past, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, from now. What I'm saying is...
You said that Arabic slave trade was years ago.
No, I said...
That's what you
no,
said.
I said that...
You said,
1 minute,
I
said that to you as a response because you were saying that you can live with the far... You was defending the far right. Fam, you were defending Tommy Robinson and Raj's defense of the Tommy Robinson.
I never defended
Fam, I'm telling you, fam. Yeah,
where's the proof? Where's the proof?
Okay, well, I'll play it on my show.
When you bring the proof, then
I'll
we'll
play it back round, yeah? But what I'm saying is, I showed you that you are ignorant to what white people are doing in this country. You don't get onto the white Christians. I never heard you talk about white supremacy, what Europeans are doing, the institutional racism. You don't talk about that. Because you're a Christian and you have a political and religious war with Muslims, all you point out is things that Muslims do, just like you. Just like most of you Islamophobes in the crowd.
Just like me.
And the Muslims, and 1 minute, Muslims make the same mistake.
Okay,
Finally, I'm always
What he's saying is you're all sectarian. You're not saying the real world. You're saying you're just the faults of the other
Why is
group.
he calling everybody Islamophobe, but he's never called one person Christophobe?
What do you mean?
He's never ever called anyone Christophobe.
Fam, are you listening? Are you listening, fam? The fact of the matter is,
as soon as you talk about the Arabic slave trade, he calls you Islamophobe.
No, I didn't.
But if you talk about the...
Bro, I didn't talk about fam.
If you talk about
1 minute, bro, you're lying. Fam, you're lying because I'm on my channel. Rich, all of these men are always talking about the Arabic slave trade. Why have I never called them an Islamophobe? The reason why is because they can be consistent. Consistent. So if you're gonna, Rich is consistent. Rich is consistent because he'll ban the Arabic slave trade, and with the equal fire, he'll ban the European slave trade. The problem I see is you got some people over here that ban the European slave trade, but they're silent about the Arab slave trade. You got Muslims that are like that, and then you have people that are far right that are against Muslims that will ban the European slave trade and will not talk about the Arabic slave trade. But what I'm saying is,
you know what's happening today, right? You do know what's happening today,
bro.
You do know what's happening today, right? Pakistan, Libya,
Syria,
Yeah.
all over the Arabic world.
Dubai Emirates.
Yeah, a lot of people are still being enslaved.
Bro,
Yeah?
are you listening? Are you listening, fam? Yeah. Who's got the
And that's
biggest
because
capital?
they're not
Who's got the
democracies.
biggest? Who's got the
Don't
biggest
have human
prison
rights.
population?
So you think
Who's got the biggest prison population in the world?
Prison.
Who's got the
Well, you're
biggest
talking
prison
about slave trade. Why are you
That
talking about
fa-
prison?
Okay, because
let's
slavery
think.
under the
Stop
Fifth
diverting.
Amendment,
That'll be
slavery
private.
under the
Stop
Fifth,
diverting.
slavery under the Fifth Amendment was still legal in America from you committed a crime. So the prison system in America is prisons for profit and is actually modern day slavery.
So,
But it's under your nose.
you
So
want
at
to
least
talk
the
about
Libyan
prison,
thing, we know where it is and we're
that's
riding
it.
out
I
against
agree
it.
with you.
I
The
agree
American
with
thing,
prison.
the American
I
thing,
agree with
you
you on
back
prison.
that.
I agree with you.
But what I'm saying is that's
I'll back you with
slavery.
Nah,
That's slavery.
That's not the type
It's
of
modern day
slavery.
slavery.
That's not.
Prisons for
This is what-
profit,
this is
making
the
profit of people that are in jail
false
is modern day
equivalent.
slavery. Facts.
You're going somewhere else.
Facts.
You're going
Bruv,
somewhere
it's
else.
modern day slavery.
It's
It's
not the
all
same type
wrong.
of
I
slavery.
ban it all. You see, the Libya man them, I banned them. I'm the one who went to Westminster, locked off the roads and put my life on the line, locking off the roads. Then I went to Gambia and we funded a plane to take people from Libya
don't
back
you
to
think you
Gambia.
should
So
invest-
1 minute.
invest
You
more
heard,
time
you heard these men
talking
talking about
about
Libya.
that
You heard
than
these men talking about Libya.
Islamophobia.
Ask them what they've done towards the Libya thing. Ask them. The only time
Here we
Libya is
go.
relevant to them
The
is they
self-righteousness
use the
again.
pain.
The
They use the pain
self-righteousness.
of our people as a political ploy
Self-righteousness.
in their own political religious warfare. That's the only time in the pain of the Libyans matters to them. When it's time to ride out and lock off roads, you won't see them.
Instead of making
When it's time to
Islamophobia,
invest in something, you won't
should be
see
talking
them.
about these things
You
more.
understand?
You should be
What
making
do you
more
mean?
tracks about
But what are you talking about,
our
fam?
black people are going
In
through.
every Islamophobia, I've pointed out the lack of recognition of black people and the racism in every single one of them, all three of them.
Okay.
So what are you talking about?
I just think-
Fam, I'm probably one of the most in this part people who buns out racism no
I
matter
think we
where
should
it comes
invest
from.
more
I'm
time
the
in
one.
talking
1
about
minute,
the
1 minute, 1
slavery that's
minute.
going on
You didn't
today
say that to me
than
when
the
I
slavery
exposed
that's going
Saeed El
on-
for his racism. You was patting me on my back.
Saeed Yo.
You was patting me on my back. Come on, man. This is what I'm saying. There's
With
double
Saeed,
standards.
You'll see, yeah, on a video on COE. When they kicked Moses out the park because of Tan, when these guys confronted Moses, their own so-called brother, yeah, because of Tan, I went up to Saeed and a few others, and I said to them, these guys are using you to exploit the situation, and you guys need to be careful. That's why I actually said to Jeddah, and what they said is, no, we don't care if they're using us. That was their response. That was their response.
You got it wrong. You got it wrong.
Saeed was standing right in front of me, like you were standing right in front of me.
completely wrong,
And I
yeah?
said
Because
it.
when Rap Boy said let the kuffars deal with it, we didn't deal with shit.
I
This is
said
one of
it
the
then.
reasons. This
There
is
it
one of the
then.
reasons.
And funny enough, that guy now turned around
fam,
and you see that what he's become.
Fam.
Because
1 minute. We stuck it on CIEDL from over a year ago when they tried to infiltrate the G Circle. So I don't know
So why did you let him come at the forefront when you were kicking, chasing Moses around the park? Why do you let him be at the forefront?
What do you mean?
of
Why did man let him be at the forefront?
Internal shit, Ralph. Internal
What do you
shit.
think? What do you think we do? What do you think we do?
You went around these days, Ralph.
Yo, Saeed, yo, come, be at the forefront. But people walk, bro. People walk. What do you want me to do? Point out this one and point out that one. I said that's a stupid equation that you've made right there.
What I'm trying to say
We
is-
didn't bring Saeed to no forefront. You'll never find one video of us endorsing, promoting, or supporting Saeed in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Facts. That's the facts.
All I was trying to bring out is that you guys need to distance yourself from certain groups.
What
And
I'm
make
saying
yourself
is, I
individuals.
agree that we're meant to
Which is
distance
what
ourselves.
I do. I don't
I agree that we're meant to distance ourselves from Saeed and people that will try to use their own political agendas. Yeah, because Saeed made it clear that he done that. But in the same way, people that are like the man them, the far right agenda is the same thing for us because the far right agenda does the same thing. The only time we get support from the
I'm
far
glad
right.
you woke up now because you were hosting Saeed quite a bit, wasn't you?
1 minute. No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. My platform is an open platform. You was on my platform the other day.
Fair enough.
So what are you talking about?
What
What are you talking about?
controversial like that.
Bruv, my platform's an open platform. I've had Go Live on there, I've had Raj on there, I've had everyone on there. There's no one that ain't been through my platform. Dawa over everything, the man who's made 15 videos about me was on my channel this morning.
He said that you were
Can we
promoting.
talk about something
He said that you were promoting.
here because you guys obviously have had.
I
That's what we came here for.
I don't even know.
You need me for anything, man? I don't even know half these people.
We're trying to get away now, Ralph.
No,
Yeah.
I just
all I'm saying,
know
all
what's
I'm saying
happening,
is,
man.
all I'm saying is, I just come to point out the hypocrisy. Yeah, right now, fam, whether it's Saeed, yeah, or people that are, he's not racist, rare, all of them people there, fire ban, straight. There's no long thing for man anymore. You understand? Same time, Tommy Robinson, Danny Tomo, the far right, fire ban, no long thing. Yeah, and when people
Was
are
that
coming,
Nancy salute?
that's it. And when
You
people are
did
coming and trying to.
He did like that.
And I said, me. You see Nazis everywhere?
Not everywhere, sir. No, I'm not hallucinating.
It's a common derangement syndrome, yeah.
No, but I still don't understand what the far right is in your.
Well, I was waiting for RASPECT to finish.
How many members in your little group?
But forget all about that.
No. How many members in your group?
But I'm not
so
sure.
You're on your own.
Can you be black and not far right, but right?
Let's not talk about skin colour.
Yes,
Let's talk about
absolutely.
the content of people's brains.
Can you be black and be
Let the guy off the
conservative?
hook.
Yeah, we do not.
I actually foresee myself to be centre. I'm not.
That's how you perceive yourself.
No, you're
how you come across.
conflating. You're conflating conservative and far right.
He probably told you
Conservative
that.
isn't
He
far
mentioned
right.
Theresa May, so I'm presuming
So
that
do you want my views?
You lot, mate. If you go back on the video, you lot
What
think
we want to know is who you represent. Are you representing a group or
They're black
yourself?
conservatives,
I
right?
only speak for
I
myself.
wasn't agreeing
All
with
right,
everything
so
you
hold
said.
on a second. We have someone here who says he's the far right, and
mate.
he's on his own. He's representing himself.
Yeah.
So how can you be the far right? We know the far right is
Who do you represent?
I represent myself because I don't
You
belong.
seem just like me.
That's
Sorry,
what I mean.
but
They always put us in the same
I'm
bit.
talking to you. I'm talking to the man who self-proclaims himself as the far right, but there's only one of them.
Yeah, it doesn't make
Are
sense.
you a part of something?
You're sad.
If you're far right, you're a part of something. You're a part of a wing.
Well, I'm waiting. I've listened to RASPECT for about 18 minutes now. I'm waiting to see if you want my input or not. I don't have to say a word, man.
Go on, Ralph. Go on, say your piece, man.
So, let me explain the difference between the right and the left, because you guys are using words you don't understand, right? So, you're claiming everything you've said to me is a far left narrative. So, I understand why the far left.
1 minute.
Am I going to have a go?
Sorry. Let me just say one thing,
Okay,
and I'm going to shut up. I'm going to shut up.
Yeah,
I'm going to shut up because he's telling me it's a far left. He's telling me it's a far left narrative, as if the left has come to me and talked to me to give me these perceptions. It hasn't come from these perceptions. It's come from talking to far right people at the park, and the videos are online. Yeah? Every perception I have of the far right doesn't come from the left as you're trying to superimpose on me as a black person. No one did impose it on me. I'm saying...
I'm telling you everything you're saying is far left.
I'm telling you that everything I'm saying comes from the
Let's
far
ask him
right
some
people
basic
that I've
questions. Let's
interacted
ask him
with.
some basic
That's what I'm letting you
questions.
know. Do you understand
Does
that?
the man vote in elections? Does the man vote in elections? Does he believe in democracy? Does he believe in the rule of
I just want
law?
to make sure you understand what I'm saying.
Understand
It doesn't
that.
come from the left. I've never spoken to the left about the far right.
No, but I'm not saying that. You're not listening. You're talking, but you're not listening. You're talking a lot, and you're not
I just want
listening.
to know if you understand that. Do you understand that my perception of the far right comes from my engagement
I've heard you 3 times.
with the far right? Do you understand that
Yeah.
point?
Now, do you understand this point?
No, I'm asking
do you
you
understand
first.
this point? If you keep talking and not listening,
Bro, I'm just
you're
asking
just going to be
one point.
talking, and I'm going to get
Bro,
bored.
I'm asking one point.
Right.
I'm asking yes or no.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you understand that?
I understand what you're saying, but I don't agree with you.
Cool. No, you don't agree that.
Yeah.
My
Again, you're
experience-
talking and not listening.
All right, go on.
I mean, I don't mind. I'll get
So
bored.
why
I'll go
don't we
home.
ask you some questions? Why don't we ask you some questions?
James, let him say his piece, man.
It's been about 19 minutes.
He's barely even
Ralph,
spoken.
go on.
Yeah. No, this is RASPECT. So,
Do you vote in elections?
yeah. So
James,
I'm going
leave
to
it.
talk now about him, and you can ask me a lot of questions later if you like.
Yeah, well, I've
but
got
you
time
shouldn't.
for that, man.
Yeah,
I've
you
got a
shouldn't.
life.
So I think you should wander off. Right. So, what is the far right and what is the far left? What does right and left mean? What is the difference? And let me put everything
the French
RASPECT said
Revolution.
into the left
It's the
bucket
French
versus the right
Revolution.
bucket. Right. The left believes that systems and societies oppress individuals and control individuals. The right believes that individuals choose their destiny, not systems. Neither one is
We're
right.
talking about the far
There are
right.
systems.
We're talking about the far right.
This
sir.
guy makes a lot of
We're not
noise.
talking
Let
about.
him finish.
We're
Let him
not
finish.
talking about the Conservative Party, and we're not here to get some basic political education. You claim to be a member of the far right, so tell us what you truly
It's
believe.
very hard when you don't shut the fuck up, though, isn't it? Right. So, right now you keep interjecting every third sentence.
Typical
right?
authoritarian. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, I'm so much worse than that. I'm much worse than authoritarian.
Really?
So, yeah, far
Really?
right.
Really?
Yeah, very far right.
I don't think so.
Okay, so this guy's boring as shit. You want to talk? We're going to
Just
listen
show
to
some
him. man.
manners.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
let the
listen to
person
him.
finish speaking,
He
and then
doesn't have any
you say
manners.
what you want to say.
He's not just the far right.
It's just basic.
Go on, Ralph. Ralph, say your piece, man.
Yeah, because
Go
that's
on.
where it's boring. Right. So the difference between the left and right politically is quite simple. The left believe that society is organized where the individual is being controlled by systems. The right believe that individual agency is what creates society. That's the difference between the left and right. If I went very far left, I would say my entire circumstances are given by slavery, oppression, my narrative, that. If I went completely far right, for this gentleman here, I would say everything comes to me from God into myself as a person. So to plot the far left and far right, everything you just said is the far left oppression narrative. For me as a representative of the far right, who cares about black pride, black power, I want to see far right black individuals stepping up that says
Unconnected.
individual
The far right and
agency.
black power, unconnected.
Is that guy from the
Never
Let him finish. Let him finish. Let him finish. He's thinking a big grave. He's thinking a big grave. He's thinking a big grave. Let him finish.
You know the black guy from the fallen.
Let him finish. 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 Go on, mate. Go on.
So if you look at the right, and I'm
Go on,
very
mate,
far
go
right,
on.
I don't think Tommy Robinson's far right compared to me, right? So if you look at the far right position, we believe that individuals have the expression of power, and the expression of power is what makes something better. If you're far left, everything you've spoke about, I can derive from Hegel to Nietzsche to Marx, has been the left-wing narrative that says, no, it's slavery,
Hegel was not in the
narrative.
far left.
You can't
fool.
shut his mouth, can you? It's fucking
You
amazing.
don't even know what
It's
you're
like a little-
talking
like,
about.
it just
Hegel
keeps
was a
talking.
state philosopher in Prussia. He was not left-wing. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're recording. This man is a fantasist. He doesn't belong to any group. He's told us he's a member of the far right in his fantasy.
You're just
In his
I'm not
fantasy.
time for this. I hear because Raspberry want to talk to me, man. I want to talk to Raspberry. Okay, this guy's just chirping.
So you're saying
He's just chirping.
You've never read any Hegel in your life.
Am I right to hear that earlier on?
Never
You said
read
that,
Hegel.
1 minute. Am I right to hear that earlier on? You said that Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King, and Malcolm X are part of the left's narrative.
No, that the narrative in the left indoctrinated them.
So then you're saying that.
Literally.
1 minute. You're trying to convince me that Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, and Martin Luther King was indoctrinated by the West.
Correct. By the left.
By
Not
the
the
left.
West,
By the
the
left.
left.
By the left. Okay, carry on.
So the
We're
left
gonna do it. We're gonna
are
do
not
it.
just against black
Where's the
people.
evidence of that?
Oh, come on.
Where's the evidence
He's
of
dead
that?
in the water right now. But go on.
Okay, so here we go. So what is that left narrative, right? And how does this gentleman seem to understand a lot about Hegel? Let me not educate him about
Well, at
Hegel.
least I know something
So
about Hegel. You know nothing about him.
Hegel, which is the root thought of Marxism in the left, said the following. It said, if
James
there's a
is going mad.
thesis, there's an antithesis.
Right.
And by the thesis and the antithesis, you create a synthesis. And Marx came along and said, that is oppression. That's what Marx came from. He came from Hegel. He said, if there's something happening here, and there's something opposition to it, it's not just opposition, it's oppression. That is the intellectual heritage that this man knows so much about, from Marx to Hegel. If you look at the Black Empowerment movement in the United States in the 50s and 60s, it was formed by white liberals. So what did Malcolm X say?
James
He
Brown
said,
was a
I don't want to
white liberal.
trust the white person who is against a black person, because if he's a
You're
right
using it out of context.
No, but if he's a
You're
right
using it out of
James Brown.
context.
Okay, but
As someone who avidly studies Malcolm X, you've put yourself in
Okay,
a
so let's
in a
park
big
that
hole.
for a second. So
You're in
what
a
am
big
I
hole
saying?
right now.
I can't speak for other. What am I saying? I'm saying I believe. Okay, so what I believe is I believe that the answer
it's what you
to the
believe, it's
social
your personal
problems for
belief,
not just black people,
Not backed
for
up by
poor
any history or
people,
facts.
for anyone who is not better themselves in life, can only be answered by the far Christian right. That says you must stand up. Let me give you a simple
In
example.
America,
Let me
the
give you
far
some
right in
example.
America,
Well,
what was the far right? The
same far
KKK
Christian
could
right,
help black people
the same
do
far
for
Christian
themselves.
right that came to
That's what
Africa.
the man
The
said.
same far Christian right that came to Africa, beat our names, beat Reggie's name out of him to the point where he's got Reggie now and he's got a Christian religion. This is literally what the far right done, and now Reggie is here. He's saying he's not in alignment, but I think politically he's more in alignment with them than he might know.
Bro,
But
do you agree with it? Hey, do you agree? What's his name? Ralph.
no, I'm saying you defend Raj.
Right, stress. Let's say his piece. Say his piece.
Do you agree with it?
Reg,
Do you know
brother.
who's far right in this country?
You
Right?
know,
The
say what?
NF. The NF are far right in this
Say I'm
country.
far right.
No, the NF
But
hate.
not far right, they're
They're
all
far
right.
right.
The NF are far right.
They're far
All
right.
They're
And they
all far
hate
right.
Asians.
But not the new far right.
They hate Asians.
Sir, you
No, the new
you're
far,
Asian.
the new far right.
So they're your people.
One minute. He said.
Are they your comrades? Are they you align with them
in
in
America was the
right than that.
KKK.
You're further right than the NF.
I'm a Christian.
They killed, they hanged black people.
He's not a missionary. He's a missionary. He's a missionary.
Yeah, but
He's a
you've got to
crusader.
come back. The man made a
crusader.
statement that the far
Sold
right
out to
basically wanted
Christian, yeah?
black power and black rights.
Yeah, let's deal with it.
The
Let's deal with it.
KKK is the clearest example of a far right organisation that wanted to kill black people and did kill black people.
1 minute. So you said Marcus Garvey and Martin Luther. Can you point to us, someone who has done, someone from your ideology that has used the far right
don't even
narrative
know
to do more for black people and our liberation than Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X?
Well, but implicit in that question is that you think your liberation was given to you by Malcolm X. No, I'm saying it wasn't. I refute the proposition.
Okay.
So I refuse Malcolm X.
All right. So this is what we have, black people. Black people. This is what we have. Black people. This is black people. Black people. This is what we have now. Yeah. Black people. Black people. Bruv, stop diverting from your slave master. Right now we're talking about your slave master. We're not talking about Islam. When Ideological comes here, I will deal with the problems within the Arabic community. Right now I'm dealing with the white community, and what's been happening is your right now not even the white community, the far right community. And what happens is anytime you do.
How many of your friends are far right? How many of your friends are far right? How many far right friends do you have? You're speaking about the far right very slow.
Slow down.
How many far right?
You said your whole point. Let me finish my point now. Yeah. The far right, the same far right narrative, yeah? Because these men will come and disrespect us by telling us Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, three of the people who done the most for us, yeah, was indoctrinated by the left. But then the KKK, who is the main far right ideology in America, yeah, these man don't want to call out them as having negative ideology, but want to tell us Marcus Garvey had a negative ideology. This is what I'm saying. So this is what we can see. Anyone who's out there that's actually from our community, I don't expect Asians that don't connect to our community. I don't expect white people that don't connect to our community to understand this, or even black people that are cooning. Yeah, but black people, I'm behind the but black people in general, you can find you can find conservative black people. You can find, no matter where we are, we have a reverence for either Marcus Garvey, if not Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, if not Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. Yeah, and you see, once you chop out all three of them, yeah, you've lost the black community. You understand? So it doesn't matter what you're saying as an Asian man, yeah, because you're not going to hear him, even Reggie, come out with them statements in the same way. You're not going to hear any black man come. 1 minute, do you understand that? You're not going to hear any black man come. 1 minute. Even your biggest Islamophobe, Sarah himself. You understand? You don't know Sarah as well.
Wow. Rewrites history, euphemize the history.
He's the black guy that supports